position and wait for my go.
Hi, welcome everyone. For today's tutorial, what we're going to do is that we are going to create a zoom effect using After Effects and combination with Adobe Photoshop. Alright, so in this particular tutorial, we are going to compose everything in Photoshop and import those things into Adobe After Effects and make those zoom animation, this kind of cool animation, the one that you see just now. Okay, so if we opened a PSD file, okay, so we are going to compose everything on PSD file. So example, this is a prepared earlier this PSD file. As you can see over here, everything is on a separate layers. Okay, so everything else is in separate layers. As you can see over here, the explosion number 2, soldier. Okay, there's a block over there. Everything else in separate layers. There's a white layer that we don't want, so I'm just going to delete that. And we're just going to save our file over here. We do not need to convert anything format. Just save as PSD file, and we are going to import this PSD file into After Effects. After we save the file from Adobe Photoshop just now, okay, so you will have these Photoshop files looking like this. So what we're going to do is that we are going to import this file into Adobe After Effects. So this is the After Effects interface. Okay, so we're just going to close for now, and then we are going to import those files within this project area. So the way that you want to do it is right click onto this project, click on import, select file, and then choose the file that you have saved in the folder just now. This is the file that we have saved after the Adobe Photoshop file. So when you import, make sure you import as a composition, retain layer size, and just check on create composition, so you can it can create those composition for you guys. Okay, so with that setting on, click on imports. Okay, maintain as is, editable layer styles, click OK. So this is the files, the composition that have been created for you. Double click on this composition, and you will notice that all the layers that have been set are here, and everything is on separated layers. With that, what we're going to do, we are going to off the guides for now. So the way that you wanted to off the guide is Control semicolon, is you toggle the guides off, and we're going to import a camera into this layer. So the way that you want to import those camera is right click, new camera. Okay, so you can see over here those camera settings is here. Okay, so we want to reduce the focal length a little bit, okay, to a 33. So enter 33 over here, and then we can reduce this one a little bit to a 300. Okay, so this one 23. Alright, so reduce to 300. Okay, so we can have a much more lower aperture and much more lower f-stop. Okay, after that, click OK. Okay, so there you go. This is how you want to add a camera into your layers. So after we add a camera into the layers, what you can do is that you can start to preview your files. So first of all, if you wanted to see all those files previewed by the camera, you should on your 3D layers. Okay, 3D layers over here. If you do not unable to find this one, just right click in the middle of this bar, and then on column switch on mode. Okay, so I'm going to show you examples. If you do not on this one, the camera will not be able to read those image. Okay, so click on active camera, select custom view, and you will see this is the camera that I was mentioning about. Okay, so with this, if you on this layer, 3D layer, each and every elements will be appeared. So you just drag all and on all of it, and your camera will able to detect the image that have imported into Photoshop. Okay, so you can toggle to view all of this image over here by on your keyboard C. You will notice the icon will be changing. So if it's changed on the camera, you can view it on the sideways like this. Okay, so you can toggle around using C onto your keyboard. Okay, so if you can see over here, the cursor is changing accordingly. So now we're going to make arrangement towards every object over here in a separate depth, of z-axis, and we're going to animate this camera. So now we are going to arrange all these objects by layers. So click here on a selection tools, click on the soldier over here, zoom in onto your keyboard if you want to have a clearer vision, Ctrl plus to zoom in, and then when you move to this object over here, you can see your cursor changing to Z, Y and X axis. So you can just click over here on Z axis, click and drag to the front. Okay, so you can make those arrangement accordingly. Okay, and set all your elements to a different kind of layers. Okay, so soldier number 3 over here, move it to the front a little bit. Explosion number 1, so you can set everything in separate layers. Soldier number, maybe the background is a little bit further away, so there's a white background over there, we do not want it. You can just select and delete those white backgrounds. And then you can toggle around and see what is happening. See, everything is a layer on a different kind of elements, so it looks like a 3D. So soldier number 3, move to back a little bit. Okay, sorry, soldier number 3 over there. Okay, so there is a soldier, there is a the block over there of rubbles. Okay, so you can toggle around and see everything is on 3D by make a selection onto your by holding C and make those adjustments when you want to see around. Okay, so that's how you want to make layers in the layer panel. So now already made some adjustments towards the layer you can see over there in 3D. So if you want to view what is happening currently, click on custom view and set on active camera. So this is what you saw just now. Okay, your arrangement. What happened over here, that as the image are far, it becomes smaller. So what we're going to do now, we're going to resize the background so it will fill the entire scene over here. So the way that you want to do that, click on custom view. Okay, and then select the background over here, and you can enlarge the backgrounds over here using transform, and underneath the scale you can increase that size accordingly until you will be able to see the backgrounds fill in the entire elements over there, so you do not feel awkward when you start to move the camera around. Okay, of course you have to make sure the background is fit with the perspective. Okay, alright, so with that we're going to start animate the camera. Okay, click on custom view, we are going to animate the camera accordingly, and then just going to make some adjustment over here. Double click on the camera 1, and then select your zoom into, put into a 150. Okay, put into 150 and then click OK. So it will reduce a bit the size, the length of the size of the camera, and we can start to zoom in the camera accordingly now. Now we're going to start to animate the camera. So if you move the camera on the z-axis over here, okay, so I'm just going to put this one a little bit over here on the z-axis. Just select on the camera. Okay, if you move the camera on the z-axis, you will notice point of interest and position is the one, and that makes the changes over there. So that's what we're going to make. Okay, click on the stopwatch on the z-axis. Drag the time indicator to 8 seconds, and then move this camera accordingly forwards. Okay, forwards until until just before it closes onto the backgrounds over there. So you can see on the active camera. Alright, so upon that we can have a preview. Alright, so we can move the camera further a little bit. Okay, so click on the custom view as well, moving forwards until, and then check with active camera. What do you see over there? So if it's this demo, then we can move it more inwards, and then check with active camera. Okay, until that, so you can have this movement over here. Okay, everything is moving accordingly, nothing but blur. Alright, so that's kind of cool animations that we wanted to create. Okay, so once you already have that, select the keyframe, right click, select both of the keyframe, right click, the keyframe assistant as it is. So you will have a movement of camera zooming in into the scene, create this kind of cool effects. Okay. Okay, so that's the animations that we wanted to do. Okay, now we have this cool animation. So if we pair this kind of animation with a sound, I think we create much more better effect. So if I try to import a sound, import file. Okay, so I have one sounds over here. Okay, so this sounds, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place it over here, and then you will notice the effects that we have. Okay, we try to play with the sound. Alright, so it's very interesting, right? When you place the sound, it creates a much more dramatic effect. So please have it a try, guys. That's how you want to import composition from the Photoshops into After Effects and animate the camera. Okay, so please have a try. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you in the next tutorial.